Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And we are from Club Sapphire.
Yes, we are. And boy, do you look fucking sexy today.
Oh, thank you. I always get to say that about your breasts, but now you're talking about me. Oh, okay.
But notice how he still snuck in the word breasts.
Yeah, well, yeah, if I can, and if I can look down, I'm going to do that. That's just, it would be rude not to.
Well, I just want to say, when I saw you, because I didn't see you get ready, you picked me up.
Yep.
And I had a little jaw drop jewel happen when I first saw you. You look very sexy tonight.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Okay. So
hurry up and get through this video so I can go fuck you.
Oh, wow. Fucking is good. So, well, that's something that we were talking about on the ride over here is fucking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk about that.
Yeah. And it's interesting, actually, after doing this for so long, that we've found that sex is better. Well, let me back up.
Okay.
Let me back up. I was with a woman a while ago who was probably 15 years younger than me, something along those lines. And we had sex, and she was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the sex.
Because you're old?
Well, that was okay. Well, yeah, because her level was low of her expectations were low.
Yeah.
And she was pleasantly surprised. And she had told me, well, a lot of the guys that are in their early 20s, they're just kind of pound as quickly as possible because they see that in porn.
Sure.
And they don't know any better, and so that's just what they do. And now you've run into that when you've been with younger guys as well, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just kind of let me just get in there as quickly as I can and then get on out.
Yeah, which is why it's not one of my favorite
things to be with the younger gentleman, considerably younger gentleman.
Right.
And so that actually got me thinking, where it was not necessarily that I'm older, although that was a factor in it.
Older and wiser.
Older and wiser.
Mature.
Sure. It was actually, it wasn't that I was older, it was that I am a swinger. Mm-hmm. And
but so are the people that I was with, right?
Well,
what's the difference?
Well, if you're talking about, like you've mentioned before, a couple of younger gentlemen that you've been with that were quite a bit younger, and that they were not particularly very good, well, they were also fairly new, or very new to the lifestyle. So they hadn't, and I probably was like that when I first got in the lifestyle too. Was just kind of like, I know I was like, I just want to have sex with as many people as possible. Let me just do this one and this one. And a friend of ours even told us at one point, we had this group of friends, 4 or 5 couples that we hung out with a lot, and in our very early days, and we would have orgies with them. And I was just so excited because I was attracted to every single woman in the crowd, and I'm like, I'm going to have sex with this one tonight and this one tonight. I remember a New Year's Eve party. I was just like, I'm going to have sex with 5 women tonight. That's my goal. I'm going to have sex because there were 5 of them there. I'm going to have sex. And
I think there were 6 of us there.
Yeah, well.
I'm usually not on the list.
Oh, yeah.
I don't make the cut.
I'll do that on New Year's Day. Yeah. And so.
What to deal with.
Yeah, right. And so, months later or even years later, that one of the women at that party said she didn't particularly enjoy that about me. Early on was that I was just kind of wham bam thinking, man, let me just get in there and move on. And I have evolved into enjoying slower sex, but more sensual sex, and taking a lot longer from beginning to end.
Enjoying the entire process of it.
Yeah.
Not just the act of
putting slot A into tab A into slot B. That's
enjoying the entire process of it. Yeah,
and it's interesting because when I was with that person I had mentioned earlier, that she was pleasantly surprised, and it was because I was a swinger in the sense that I have been with a lot of women. And I'm very proud of the fact. Let me say that again and again. I've been with a lot of.
We need to get you a T-shirt with hash marks, all over it.
Love it.
When you're with a woman, you hand them a marker afterwards, and they can.
Can you just write a line right here? That'd be great. Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great idea. No, it's not. But my point is that, just like in any sport, No.
No, I giggle, but it's true. I mean, we do
Okay.
talk about the lifestyle as a sport or a hobby. Like,
As a hobby,
like
but...
we're playing tennis together, only it's not tennis.
And you like the balls better. But when you are playing tennis, to get better, you are going to play with people that are better than you. That is how you are going to improve. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happens in the lifestyle, is when you play with a lot of people. Over time, you are going to learn tips and tricks and techniques to actually get better at sex. And it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. And I've run into that a couple times, I'd say, in the last couple of years where I don't know why women have their level of Matt's gonna be meh, whatever, but that actually have told me that they were like, oh, well, that was actually pretty good. It's like, oh, like they were like surprised. And it's not me tooting my own horn, although it sounds okay, maybe a little bit.
Is this kind of an advertisement for you?
Kind of. It just fascinates me, because it's really it's almost like and I have to believe you're the same way. I have to believe you can. Yesterday you gave me a blowjob, and it was a fantastic blowjob, but now imagine the blowjob you gave me when you met me 25 years ago.
Oh, it was stellar. It was like 2 minutes long, and it was the best 2 minutes of your life. And
some chewing going on, and you put it in your ear on accident.
No, because I vividly remember reading a book called The Good Girl's Guide to Being Bad. And that's how I learned about sex.
Yeah, but that was we had been together already for a while at that point. So at first it was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I mean, you see things, you learn, you get all the tricks that you just kind of learn on your own.
Well, and hopefully you're a couple too that can talk like, that was really good, baby, try it again this way. Mm-hmm. Or, hopefully you're in a relationship where you can have a conversation about, like, even before you're in the lifestyle, about what you like and what, you want to try and that kind of stuff. And you learn that way. Right.
And that's why, and we've mentioned this before, but it's like if you and I are playing with someone else, and you come to me afterward and you're like, the guy that I was with or the girl that I was with had this technique with their tongue that they did, and oh my God, you need to try that. And then I'm going to be like, well, let me try that. I might even go a step further and like try to talk to that person and be like, so what are you doing? What's this thing? Because I want to know. I want to get better, which is going to improve the sex between us, which I have no complaints about.
Well, and I feel, too, that that's a common conversation piece that does come up when you're speaking to someone, especially if you've been with them at least once. Not oftentimes, if you've never been with a couple, but, there are times where, I might be talking to a guy and we're getting cozy or whatever, and you'd be like, hey, she really likes this thing, or, don't stick a finger in her butt, or whatever.
Not a big fan of that.
But, I mean, that's something that, I have heard those conversations around, especially as you get to know a couple better, feeling more comfortable talking to them about what you like. Sometimes I think the first time you have sex with someone can be, there's still a lot of holding back. You're not sure what they like and that kind of stuff. And if you're lucky enough to get to have sex with them again, hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to be like, so what did you like about last time? Like, let's make this even more amazing than it was last time.
And that's exactly why I will try really hard the first time that I'm with someone. You were with a gentleman recently that your expectations were very high, and afterward you were like, and he had been doing it for a while, and so it was just one of those things where I just kind of be like, I want to get to that second time.
Yeah.
Because the first time, you're right, the first time is fine. It can be fine. It can be good. It can be bad. We've been all over the place with people we've been with.
Right.
Across the board. But you just get better.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, like with anything you practice. What is that rule? You practice something for 1,000 hours, you're an
10,000 hours, you're an expert.
10,000 hours?
That's what I'm going for. I should have been keeping track.
You should have.
That's instead of the notches on the shirt, it should have been like 46 minutes, 23 seconds. And I would just be like adding it up,
right?
going, I got to get to the 10,000 hours. Well, no, it's funny, too, because I had read recently in a blog, and apparently this is very common, that, like, in life, you are... the average of the 5 people that you spend time with the most, okay? So you want to hang out with, if you're playing tennis, you want to play with people that are considerably better than you and people that are worse than you, because you're going to learn from these guys and you're going to teach these guys. And then everybody's improving. But if you're always the best one in the situation, you're just, you're going to be like, ah. If you were always hanging out with the 21-year-old guys and the sex was always mediocre, you're going to be like, wow, sex sucks. I don't know. And then you're not going to try as hard because why?
Right.
And but then suddenly you go and you see Ryan Reynolds comes in, and you just assume he's going to be great. So you have this high expectation, and then when you have sex with him, you're going to try really, really hard, right?
Oh no! If Ryan Reynolds comes around, I'm going to just lay there like a dead fish.
That in itself would be a funny story. That's right. Okay. So do you think that you still have room for improvement?
Oh, I think everybody always has room for improvement, no matter what. I mean, there's always something new and different, right? I mean, just watch porn. There's always something different. I mean, this isn't your grandmother's sex, right? I mean, there's always something new and different. You're always going to learn a different technique from someone if you're practicing often enough. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any perfect sex out there, and I may have sex with you, and you may think it's like stellar, perfect, can't change anything, but that doesn't mean that it's perfect for the next person.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's ever you can't stop learning, you can't stop growing.
Sure. Do you think that you have any new techniques that you've learned fairly recently from someone else? Or that you've seen, or that you've enjoyed, or something like that?
Well, I don't know how I would learn a new technique like to use on you.
Well,
because it's a guy fucking me.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
I could tell you this is what he did.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing really that I've learned lately that I can think of.
Oh, okay.
You?
Well, I used an example fairly a bit ago that there was a woman who was giving me a blowjob. And she started tickling my feet at the same time.
What? I didn't hear the story.
Oh my! Really?
That sounds no.
No. Okay, so bear with me here, all right? Yeah, because you're
I'm just trying to think of how the hell you do that.
No. So she had long arms. No, okay. So I'm lying on my back, all right? I'm lying down, and she's in the middle of me, and she's giving me a blowjob, and she takes her arms, or she takes her hands, and starts tickling the bottom of my feet. And it was interesting because I'm not a ticklish person. However, because you are so sensitive, because she'd been giving me a blowjob for a little bit, and your body gets so sensitive, and the things when you're rubbing, all that kind of stuff. But then she was rubbing, and then started just slowly just going along the bottom of my feet, and it was it suddenly brought everything up, and I'm like, oh shit, this is good. I got to remember this. I'm not giving guys blowjobs. However,
Since when?
However, I do give oral to women fairly often, and so I'm I'm gonna try this, and so I've tried it. I'm not sure if I've tried it on you.
No.
I feel like I did, and you were like, no, you're ticklish. No,
you've never tried that on me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is why we have these conversations. So, are you curious?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah.
Okay, because you're a ticklish person. See, and if you get to the point of being a ticklish person, they end up kicking me or something like that.
Being an asshole and trying to tickle me, or nerve strokes, they're two totally different things.
Right, that.
Yeah.
That.
It's two totally different things.
Okay. So I will try that.
Okay.
On you, and you can tell me what you think.
All right. Well, let's stop this first.
Okay. My point being is those types of things. I've never seen that in porn. No one had ever done that to me before. No one had ever met. Porn. I'm trying. There's a lot out there. No one's ever mentioned this before. I'd never heard this in conversation or anything like that. It was just something that a woman had done to me, and it felt really good, and it was new, it was different, and I've tried that on a few different people since then. And it has had mixed results. But it's something that, that you kind of put in your pocket to try out, and if someone responds really well to it, you want to expand on that. And that's how you get better at sex. And then, if I was with a woman and she's like, oh my God, he did this ticklish thing, then she might be like, that guy was really good. And then she's remembering that, and then she's going to use it on the next person, which is probably how the woman did it to me. Someone probably did it to her. I don't know. I didn't ask her. But that's the joys. One of the many joys of swinging is that you do actually get better at sex, even if you weren't bad at all before, as I like to believe about myself. But I know that if you had sex today with Matt of 21 years old, you would have been like, "Wow, that was really awful sex."
Maybe.
Or you were like, "No, I'm sorry." You would have been like, "That guy had a big penis," but the sex is mediocre.
A little selfish.
Right. I like that better. He'll work on it. All right. And with that, make sure you do go to www.clubsapphire.net. Check out all the awesome parties that are happening here soon.
Yes.
There's a lot going on as we're getting close to the end of the year. New Year's Eve is starting to sell out, so make sure that you do book that party.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, because that's the party of the year.
Yes.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
All right, well, perfect. Oh, also, they are always looking for volunteers here. So go to clubsapphire.net and look and see what parties need volunteers for.
Great way to start meeting people, getting comfortable here.
Yeah. And get credits for parties.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Win-win.
All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.